All right, everyone, we are about to get into today's project. I just got the machine and the mulcher greased up, and I was over here day before yesterday. I think it was the client kind of wanted these wax myrtles kind of trimmed back through here along the edge of the pond, and so I kind of just cleaned all that up all the way down to about right there. Kind of opened it up because they were kind of growing out where you couldn't really kind of get to that corner, at least not in a vehicle. So they wanted that cleaned up. But today, I didn't film that, that wasn't no big deal. But today we are going back up in these woods right here, up in the holler. And it's pretty much kind of a swamp in there. And what it is here is like, this is kind of like a corner lot, but without the corner. So you got a road right out there that goes down, and it ends right there, and it dog legs left and goes this way. And this lot, it meets this road right there, but they don't have this property up here. There's some industrial buildings right there on the actual corner, but the lot from like that tree line back all the way around meets that road over there, if that makes sense. And there's a ditch right back up in these woods that goes back to that road where it ends in a ditch, and then it drains on into a swamp on the other side of that road. And years ago, they had someone come in here, I want to say it was around 3 or 4 years ago, they had somebody come in here with a mulcher and make them a path back to that ditch. Anyway, that ditch has grown up, and I've made my way back there using the old trail that the last guy cut with a mulcher, and it's pretty open. I had to kind of cut my way through some growth in there, but mostly it was just kind of small saplings and stuff that had grown up in the way, but nothing major. And I got back, and the ditch kind of starts as like a low area swale, I think, and then it kind of actually forms into a ditch as it goes further on. But it's all grown up. I don't even know if we can cut it or not, but we're going to go back there and try. If this turns out to be a complete disaster and I can't do it, you may not even see this video because I might not be able to do it. I don't know yet. I've kind of found the start of it, and that was late in the afternoon, and I didn't want to get started and then have, you know, if the machine got stuck, I didn't want to be back there in the middle of the night trying to get it out or whatever. So get a fresh start today, and we'll just take it slow and see how this turns out. But I'm going to try to walk down from what I can tell, I think I can walk down the right side of the ditch, make a path, so they can get an excavator in there to clean it out, or use mine. You know, I can maybe dig it out depending on how big it is, but we're gonna go back there and find out. So let's take a ride back in here into the swamp and let's get into this. So this thing's warming up. Let's go for a ride. All right, guys, one last thing before we get started. I was supposed to go out and do that bush hogging work where we did the retention pond, but unfortunately, when I went to go pick up the skid steer the next morning, heard a grinding noise on the right side of the undercarriage, and it wasn't, you know, the machine was not tracking correctly, and you know, I could kind of feel it on that right side. I didn't know if it was the track, which the track is brand new. Thought it might be the idler, and then just happened to put my hand on the drive hub, and which is basically, I'll show you guys on basically this thing. Happened to put my hand on that and on the skid steer, and it was on fire. I mean, it was like you couldn't touch it, it would burn your hand. And so pretty much knew at that point the final drive in it was probably gone. Got it loaded up on the trailer, took it over to John Deere. They haven't cracked it open yet. They might try to get to that this afternoon, but it looks like the Deere's gonna need a final drive, so on the right side. So still waiting on that one, but it doesn't look good. So it's probably going to be sometime middle of next week before I get that thing back and we can get back to doing some bush hogging work. So just stay tuned, but I'll keep you guys up to date on that. Yeah, not looking good. So probably going to see a little bit more Munchy over the next few more days until we can get that back next week. So, but just stay tuned. We do got to go back up there and get to that, and I got some other stuff to cut with that thing for some of our fall cutting. So just stay tuned, but just want to give you guys an update on that. All right, we are in the woods now. Into the woods we go. But yeah, I kind of had to squeeze my way through here, cut a few things, nothing major. It was still pretty open from the last time they brought a machine through here. I think it was maybe a pretty sizable machine that they brought through here. It's a pretty open trail through most of it. But this is what I love about this little U55. It's not a true zero tail, zero turn, but it only, the counterweight on the back end only sticks out about 2.5 inches over the tracks. And this little thing will just go anywhere in these woods, and you can, you know, work and slew around and move and drive, and you don't have to worry about the butt end hitting anything. And I love the Takeuchi machines. I mean, they're super powerful, they're strong, reliable. I really like them. But that conventional tail swing on the 260 just would not work for what I do in these woods and for some of these jobs. And I know they make that FR machine, but I don't like the front not being able to basically oscillate your boom left and right, and that comes in you know, big time handy back here in these woods. You know, when you want to, you know, try to reach around a corner like a tree like that right there, and you want to slew the boom over to get something right there. I mean, it's really a handy thing. So let's see if we can't squeeze in between these two pines right here. This was a little tight right here. Oh, here we go. And this is where the, oh, come on. Tracks are hopping and popping over some of these tree roots. So, here's where this ditch starts, and kind of where I got to, or this kind of swale that turns into a ditch. And you can see right there through my ruts, the ground is a little soft. So, but I think, see, I'm in the mud right there. Damn. Alright, let's see if I can't go around that. I got a little too soft. There we go. Come on, baby. Alright, get up on this mat right here where it's nice and solid. Alright, let me get out and show you guys what I think we're going to try to do here. Alright, so here's this kind of ditch swale thing going through here, and it's all overgrown. You can't really tell it, but it kind of goes right back through there, and it's not very long. I mean, I don't think we got to go far, but I've got to kind of clear this right side, and there doesn't look to be anything too big, nothing too major. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is just work my way around right through here. I'm going to try, and we'll see how far we get. If we can make it, we make it. If we don't, well, we don't. So, oh, this is going to be a bit sketchy. I'm a little nervous. I do not want to get this machine stuck. I mean, you can see how soft this ground is in some spots. So, but it's been pretty dry for the last week, so we're going to find out. Let's see what we can do. good news, this was not that soft in here. I just kind of kept cutting out in front of me, looking for a ditch and looking for water, and never found any water, thank goodness, not until the very end. And I'll walk down here, I'll show you that. But I called the client about halfway through and I was like, is there a ditch in here? You know, because he told me, you know, because we walked back in here and you could kind of see that grass where this kind of low area in here started, where it was clear. And he goes, yeah, there's a ditch in there. So I got like halfway through, I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, but it's like a little hand dug ditch he dug right down here, and I'll walk down here and show you. But all this cleaned up really good through here. I guess they're gonna come through here and dig a ditch, or I don't know if that's something I'm gonna do, or they might want to bring a bigger machine in here and dig a bigger ditch. I don't know. But what they got going through here, you can kind of see they hand dug this through here. It's almost like a little trench. And so this kind of swale kind of feeds down into this, and it curves around here. This was all just grass and stuff through here, nothing major. I was like that one little pine I took down right there. Get that out of the way. And I kind of had to straddle this ditch. You can see my track right there, right there. It was just, the machine was just wide enough for me to kind of straddle through here and get to, I couldn't really go past there. That's all wet down in there. And then there's the road, and then there's the actual road ditch right there that this kind of feeds into. So, but yeah, there it is. That didn't take too long. A couple hours ish. So, but it looks good. It looks good. It's nice, wide open. You can get a decent sized machine through here now. That's probably 30 feet wide through there, roughly 20 to 30 feet wide, depending. Got my other GoPro. All right, well, that worked out well. I thought this was going to be a soft hole in here. I thought I was going to really have to kind of hug this edge here, and then I thought this was going to be just like a swale ditch through here that I was going to have to reach out and kind of cut my way kind of down this line, and it just was nice and flat, and it was a little soft, but nothing crazy. I wouldn't want them to come in here right after a couple inches of rain though, but it wasn't bad at all. So that was nice. That worked out well. Munchy did a good job in here, and that's that. And they'll come in here and dig all this out, and the mulch side, as long as there's not really any trees in the way, there's some bigger chunks of mulch, it doesn't matter because they're just going to dig it up and pile it over to one side anyway. So no point in them paying me to kind of mulch everything down exactly perfectly. As long as there's not really any trees in the way, we're good. So, all right, well, let's walk this thing back out of the swamp back here. And I made it in, so I should make it out. So, but like I was saying earlier, it's why I love these zero tail machines or tight tail swing machines for this particular kind of work. You know, to coming in these tight wooded areas, timber areas, and being able to work and swing around and not have to worry about the butt end. Now you do get, let me turn this thing off. You do compromise on the space in the cab. That TB235, that Takichi I've been running for my other client, his machine. The cab in that thing, in that 3.5 ton, is way bigger than the cab in this 5.5 ton. I mean, it's not even close. It's wider, there's more leg room, so you're a little more cramped, not quite as spacious, and then everything in here is a little more cramped, but I haven't had too many issues with that. This door is nice and swings open nice and wide, and the other side's got plenty of access to everything too. So it's a little trouble trying to blow out that radiator sometimes, but man, it's really nice, you know, not really having to worry about swinging this thing around, really bumping the back end, anything. Most of the stuff on the counterweight was already here when it came with the machine. I did, and some of it I did when I was doing that retaining wall work this past winter. When I was up on one of the benches digging out a footer, I was swinging around and hitting the wall on the other side, so it was a little tight in there, but But I like this counterweight on this machine because it sticks out and it protects, you know, a lot of this area up here. This isn't flush with this counterweight, so, you know, this, you can't really hurt the counterweight other than just putting scratches on it, but that's all cosmetic. But if you spin around, and the only thing that does stick out over the tracks is this edge of this counterweight right about here. It's only about 2.5 inches over those tracks, so it's nice and tight, and this thing will just go anywhere. I love it. And I'll probably will, you know, on my next machine, if I keep doing this work, it's probably going to be another Kubota U55 as of right now. I really like this machine. There's a few things that I don't like about it, but for the most part, those things are not, you know, so big where I would consider getting something else. I really like the John Deeres, but there's some technical things with the John Deeres when it comes to setting up stuff like the running hydraulic attachments. I won't get into that right now, but there's some stuff with the John Deere minis that really Hitachi has not addressed yet, because Hitachi makes all John Deere excavators. You know, the only difference is some of the engines and what color they're painted. But I really like this thing. I love this Prinoth head. Man, if you guys need a mulcher head, you guys see the work I do with this thing. This thing is awesome. It's just freaking amazing. I love it. I love it. I've got like 150 hours on these teeth, and they still got a lot of life left in them, baby. We're munching on, and so they're getting close. I probably got maybe another 50 to 75 hours in them, roughly speaking, and then they're going to be toast. But still, if I get 200 hours out of them, I'm going to be super happy. But yeah, as of right now, I think this Kubota is working really well for me, and I'm interested to see what kind of improvements they've made with the new Dash 5 models with this. So yeah, but I'm not planning on getting rid of this machine anytime soon. I really liking it. So it's only got 1,500 hours on it, and so that won't be anytime soon, I don't believe. But as of right now, if I had to go get another new machine for, you know, if I had the money, it would be a Kubota. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little fun time. That was definitely interesting coming through here. So, it's almost the weekend. Football tonight. I'm going to enjoy it and see what comes up tomorrow. And I think I'm about done with this job. So, all right. Well, I'm out of here. I'm going to track this thing out of here and get out of here for the day. So, I will catch you guys later. Bye, everybody.